Welcome to Dayla's class, brought to you by Alondra, Sofia, and Carmen.
For today's activity, you will be needing the following materials: a foam board, yardstick, ruler, pencil, scissors, aluminum foil, black paper, packing tape, electrical tape, hot glue gun, and the glue, straw, string, and paper clips. Engineers use physical models to analyze daylight performance. Today, we will be building a model house that will provide us with information how daylight will behave in a building. We will be designing and building a 1,000 square feet model. I will be using a scale in which every inch equals 3 feet. I start by doing my markings. I will be providing you with the measurements I used to build my house, but feel free to use your own measurements or even your own scale if you would like. For my base and my roof, my measurements are as follows: 8 inches and 1/3 by 13 inches and 1/3. For the walls that will go in the front and the back of the house, my measurements are 6 inches and 2/3 by 13 inches and 1/3. Lastly, my side walls will be 8 inches and 1/3 by 6 inches and 2/3. The remainder of the foam board that we don't use will be used for our interior walls. Once you are done making all your markings and lines, you may continue to cut. Be careful when cutting this foam board. I open my scissors almost like a razor to cut along the lines. Make sure when cutting you don't go too deep. You may scratch the surface you are working on. Instead, try to go only about halfway in. When you are done cutting along the line, flip your board over and then cut whatever is left of it. Continue cutting the remainder of your pieces. Once you are done, put your pieces on the side. We will now begin to make our solar tube. For this, you will need your aluminum foil and your black sheet of paper. Take your black sheet of paper and either fold it in half, hamburger style, or cut it in half, once again, hamburger style. Up next, you will take your aluminum foil and cut it in half. Once you're done cutting, take your black piece of paper and tape it over your aluminum foil. Make sure the shiny side is facing outward, so your black piece of paper should be on top of your dull side of the aluminum foil. Moving on, you will need to bring back all your pieces of foam board. This is the fun part. You will get to design windows all around your exterior walls. When you are done designing, cut out your windows. Once your windows have been cut out, use clear packing tape to put on the openings of your windows. For my house, I decided to do all my windows different shapes and sizes. I want you to be creative. Don't just follow my example. Look at your own house for inspiration, or maybe you even want to look online. That's fine. The purpose of this lesson is to learn about daylighting. Daylighting is a technique that efficiently brings natural light into your house. This is done using windows, skylights, etc. By bringing more light into your house, you're able to reduce artificial lighting as well as save energy. It's time to assemble the house. Grab your glue gun and your glue. Be careful with this step. Put the glue along your foam board, pull your wall up and hold for 5 to 7 seconds. Once you release, your wall should stay up. If for any reason it doesn't, repeat the step to make sure your wall stays secured. You will only be attaching 3 of your exterior walls. Leave one of your sides open so you can make observations. When you are done, it should look something like this. With the leftover foam board that we did not use for our base, roof, and walls, you should have enough to make some interior walls. My measurements in this case do not matter. I was able to make 4 pieces of walls, so I am now attaching those to the inside of the house. Warning: do not do this step yet. Please watch and listen carefully so you can avoid doing the same mistake I did. For this step, I'm taking the piece of foam board that is meant to be for my roof. I took the packing tape and put it on top of it and took an outline of the inner circle of the tape. I then took my scissors and cut out the circle that I had just outlined. This is where my solar tube is going to go. However, something I did not take into consideration when doing the placement of my hole was if it was going to bump into any of my inner or outer walls. So how did I fix this problem? I took back the circle that I had cut out of the board. I added glue to the edges, and then I put the circle back into the hole. I then took scraps from the foam board that I had left over from the window cutouts and from the other pieces that I did not need for the walls. And just like that, our mistake is now a chimney. Let's try this again, the correct way. Make sure you find a good placement for your hole. Trace a circle, double check that it's not bumping into any walls, and then proceed to cut it out. If you have not done so yet, this would be a good time to curl your piece of paper with aluminum foil. Make sure your aluminum foil is facing on the inside, while your black piece of paper is on the outside. When you curl your piece of paper, make sure it fits the hole, and then tape it, so it can stay secure. You may need to trim your solar tube. This all depends on the size of your house. I then decided to put aluminum foil around the outside part of my tube. I used a glue gun to glue down my solar tube, and to make sure that it was not going to be moving anywhere. When you get done, it should look something like this. Once you are sure that your solar tube is secured, add glue to 3 of the edges of your roof. This is where you will place it down to make sure it's glued down to your walls. For the next step, you will need your electrical tape and your scissors. We will be adding electrical tape to every single edge around our house. This is to secure that all the light that is going into our house stays inside and that none of it is escaping through small little cracks that were left behind. We are down to our finishing touches. I will now show you how to make a light shelf. For this, you will need scissors, paper clips, a piece of string, a straw, a piece of foam paper that was cut out from one of the windows, and tape. We will begin by taking the straw and cutting it out a little bit larger than the size of the window that we have. We will then take a paper clip, strain it out, and string it through our straw. We will need our glue gun once again. We will put a tiny bit on the edge of the foam board and then attach it to the straw. You will need to add another tiny bit of glue towards the end of the foam board. You will add the piece of string directly where you added the glue. Up next, you will attach a paper clip on the roof of the house, directly above the window opening. You may tape this or glue this down. It is up to you. I decided to tape it down. I left a small part of the paper clip exposed, so I can pull the string through, which you will see in a bit. It's now time to attach the other paper clip to the house. Once again, you may either tape it or glue it down. Once that is attached, pull the string through the paper clip that is up on the roof. You should be able to pull the window up and down, as shown in the video. If you have aluminum foil left over, you may attach a piece to the shelf with the shiny part facing on the outside. This will help the light reflect on the inside part of the house when it's angled properly. It's finally time to start playing around with the house that you built. Get a lamp, a flashlight, or even your cell phone and light around the house. Put the light through the solar tube. What happens? How much of your house is lit up? What happens if the light is moving? You know, like the sun, when it rises and it sets? Do you notice how different rooms get lit up depending on the position of the light? Play with your light shelf. See what happens when you move it around. When you bring it up, different angles may reflect different amounts of light inside your house. Don't forget to share your pictures and videos of your houses. I would love to see the designs that you guys came up with. Also, don't forget to share your findings in the comments section. I would like to know what worked for you and what didn't. Thank you for watching.